Could you state your name?
Tyler James Robinson.
Tyler Robinson, the suspected killer of political activist Charlie Kirk, who was brazenly gunned down in cold blood last week in front of a packed crowd out in Utah, has officially been charged and appeared in court for the very first time. We are breaking down all of the legal angles of today's developments, from the charges, the evidence, anyone else going to be arrested, and most importantly, what can we expect next? Welcome, presented by my channel. We have charges and a first court appearance for 22-year-old Tyler Robinson, the man accused of shooting to death political activist Charlie Kirk last week at a speaking debating engagement at Utah Valley University. And I want to get into what just happened at this first court appearance. Right, we're going to talk about the charges, the defense's evidence, discord, a lot about that too. Federal charges, but what did the day start with? There was a press conference held out in Utah to announce the formal state charges against Tyler Robinson.
I am filing a criminal information charging Tyler James Robinson, age 22, with the following crimes. Count 1, aggravated murder, a capital offense, for intentionally or knowingly causing the death of Charlie Kirk under circumstances that created a great risk of death to others. Count 2, felony discharge of a firearm causing serious bodily injury, a first-degree felony. The state is further alleging aggravating factors on counts 1 and 2 because the defendant is believed to have targeted Charlie Kirk based on Charlie Kirk's political expression and did so knowing that children were present and would witness the homicide. The state is also charging defendant with count 3, obstruction of justice, a second-degree felony for moving and concealing the rifle used in the shooting. Count 4, obstruction of justice, a second-degree felony for disposing the clothing he wore during the shooting. Count 5, witness tampering, a third-degree felony for directing his roommate to delete his incriminating texts. Count 6, witness tampering, a third-degree felony for directing his roommate to stay silent if police questioned him. And count 7, commission of a violent offense in the presence of a child, a Class A misdemeanor, for committing homicide knowing that children were present and may have seen or heard the murder and did so based on Charlie Kirk's political expression.
Okay. Again, those are state charges, not federal charges, state charges, and announced that they plan to file a notice of intent to seek the death penalty here. Yes, there are some new details. Yes, there are new charges here, because when you look at the original probable cause affidavit that listed murder and obstruction and the firearm discharge charges, those were the ones he was booked on. We now learned about these aggravating factors, right, about children and political expression, and these witness tampering and additional obstruction and violent offense charges. This is new, and by the way, revealed a lot more details too that are going to be pivotal in this case. Reading from the criminal information that was filed here, and yes, there's no grand jury that's necessarily used in Utah, but this is kind of like the indictment of criminal information. Aside from all of this surveillance footage allegedly capturing Robinson before, during, and after the shooting, including on the roof, you need to listen to this. They claim that he deposited the rifle in the woods right after the shooting, right? The information says, quote, the rifle, ammunition rounds, and towel were sent for forensic processing. DNA consistent with Robinson's was found on the trigger, other parts of the rifle, the fired cartridge casing, 2 of the 3 unfired cartridges, and the towel. Wow. Oh, and also, quote, police executed a search warrant on Robinson's residence. During that search, police discovered a shell casing with etchings like the etchings found on the shells in the rifle near UVU. Police also found several targets with bullet holes in Robinson's home. So not only do they have evidence linking him to this alleged crime, they're also trying to show right preparation, planning, and these etchings that were found with the alleged murder weapon. What am I talking about? Notice is bulge, own. What's this? Hey, fascist catch. Oh, Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao Ciao Ciao. If you read this, you are gay. So we go back to the idea. if they found etchings at his place that are consistent with this, it's pretty strong. So the information also goes into how Robinson's mother and father suspected he was the shooter based on the images that were released by law enforcement. They apparently spoke to him on the phone. They had a family friend help turn himself in. So now you're talking about potential witnesses who will testify against him. Okay, but we got to talk about this roommate. Okay, this roommate is so important to this case. You may have seen reporting about the roommate. Governor Spencer Cox had announced that the roommate was cooperating, and now you are seeing how Robinson is accused of trying to get this roommate to delete evidence and stay quiet. But the criminal information, and my gosh, revealed something else. Confirmed what was reported, that Robinson was apparently in this romantic relationship with this roommate who Robinson's mother claimed was a biological male transitioning genders. But here is what the criminal information says. On September 10th, 2025, the roommate received a text message from Robinson which said, "Drop what you're doing, look under my keyboard." The roommate looked under the keyboard and found a note that stated, "I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk and I'm going to take it." Police found a photograph of this note. After reading the note, the roommate responded in a text, "What?" with a ton of question marks. "And you're joking, right?" To which Robinson replies, and I'm going to read portions of this text message exchange. "I am still okay, my love, but I'm stuck in Orem for a little while longer yet. Shouldn't be long until I can come home, but I got to grab my rifle still. To be honest, I had hoped to keep this secret till I died of old age. I am sorry to involve you." The roommate writes, "You weren't the one who did it, right?" And Robinson replies, or Robinson allegedly replies, I'm sorry." The roommate then later asks why, to which Robinson allegedly writes back, "Why did I do it, roommate?" "Yeah, Robinson, I had enough of his hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out." Roommate also asks, "How long have you been planning this?" To which Robinson allegedly replies, "A bit over a week, I believe." And then Robinson allegedly writes about getting the rifle. "I'm wishing I had circled back and grabbed it as soon as I got to my vehicle. I'm worried what my old man would do if I didn't bring back Grandpa's rifle. I don't know if I had a serial number, but it wouldn't trace to me. I worry about prints. I had to leave it in a bush where I changed outfits, didn't have the ability or time to bring it with. I might have to abandon it and hope they don't find prints. How the bleep will I explain losing it to my old man?" Goes on to say, "Remember how I was engraving bullets? The bleeping messages are mostly a big meme. If I see notices, Bulju on Fox News, I might have a stroke." Robinson then allegedly texts, "Delete this exchange and don't talk to the media. Please don't take any interviews or make any comments. If any police ask you questions, ask for a lawyer and stay silent." So that makes up the witness tampering charges, right? And how much of that exchange is consistent with the allegations that authorities put out about what the shooter did, right? I know it's, how many times do we talk about text messages being some of the most important evidence you can have in a criminal case? Sometimes it's ambiguous. What did they mean? What? This is really unambiguous in my opinion, but I'm going to debate it out in a minute. But then later on in the day, Tyler Robinson made his first court appearance. It was virtual. He appeared via the Utah County Jail, but it was an appearance for the 4th Judicial District Court.
Could you state your name?
Tyler James Robinson.
Thank you for being here, Mr. Robinson. I'm Judge Graff. Mr. Scortis.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. You're probably already aware of my presence or why I'm here, but if not, I am not entering an appearance. I'm not counsel on this case. I'm working with the county to get counsel assigned, but we need you to allow for the appointment of counsel.
Thank you, Mr. Scortis. I want to go through the qualifications
Absolutely.
for indigency, but that is my intent, Mr. Scortis.
Very well.
And I thank you for being here. So, Mr. Robinson, you have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, the court can appoint an attorney to represent you. I have reviewed your declaration of financial status and find that you are indigent. I'm provisionally appointing a Rule 8 qualified attorney to represent you on your case, Mr. Robinson. Along with their filing of their appearance of counsel, the assigned attorneys must file declarations with the court that outline their qualifications under Rule 8 and Rule 8C, under Rule 8B and Rule 8C for counsel appointment in a case where death may be a sentencing option. I'm ordering that those declarations be filed prior to the next hearing date, which is set for September 29th at 10 a.m. Mr. Robinson, I also wish to inform you of your rights against self-incrimination. Anything that you say in court today could be used against you, and we want to protect your constitutional rights. Mr. Robinson, at this time, you will remain in custody without bail. Mr. Skordas, is there any other points that you wish to address?
No, thank you very much, Your Honor.
Turning to the state.
Yes, Your Honor. Chad Grunander for the state. I'm also joined, and they're listed as attendees, Ryan McBride, Lauren Hunt, David Sturgill, and Chris Ballard. We are the trial team on this case. I do have a few points I'd like to bring up with Your Honor. We have filed a pretrial protective order on behalf of Erica Kirk. We would ask the court to review that. It should be in your queue, Your Honor, and sign that.
Thank you. I have reviewed the pretrial protective order and will be issuing this pretrial protective order in favor of Erica Kirk. Is there any other business that we need to address today, counsel?
Just for the court's information, we did file just recently, within the last few minutes, a notice of intent to seek the death penalty that was filed by Utah County Attorney Jeff Gray. So that should be in the court's file. Lastly, I would just indicate to the court and to, at this point, Mr. Robinson, that we are prepared to collect all of the discovery in this matter and get that turned over to the defense as soon as possible. Rule 16 requires us to provide what we have relied on in charging the information in bringing these charges within 5 days once it's requested. So that'll be prepared to disseminate to the defense as soon as possible.